This is question 10 on problem solving from section 1 of the 2019 ECAA. So we're given information about 3 different people being voted in to a committee position, so Andrew, James and Roger. We're told that between March and April, that's the 2 months on each of these graphs for each person, 11 people changed their votes in the following ways. And based on this, which one of the 5 charts cannot be correct? So what are we given? We're told each of these changes that from one person to another. And so where would be a good place to start? Maybe we could summarize these changes a bit more succinctly, because this is quite complicated and confusing to apply straight to the graph. So maybe we could look at, say, Andrew and think about the net change of votes for Andrew. Can we do this from this information? Well, yes, because we're told that only 11 people changed their votes and all of these changes add up to 11. So we know that all the votes are being accounted for. So what's the net change for votes for Andrew across the months? So he lost 3 here and he lost 5 here. He's not gained any votes, and so he's got a net loss of 8. Then if we do something similar for the next name, so for James, what's the net change? So he's gained 3 here, he's lost 2 there, and he's gained 1 here. So that's a net change of +2. And then finally for Roger, what's his net change? So he gained 2 here and 5 here, but he lost 1 here. So that's a net gain of 6. And this looks correct because this adds up to 0, which makes sense seeing as these are the only 3 candidates. So we can see that this information looks a lot clearer than this information. So we're working in the right direction. Now let's apply what we know now to our 5 different graphs. And so if we're looking at, say, Andrew, we know that it doesn't matter what the raw numbers are, but the April value needs to be 8 less than the March value, which looks like it's the case here. This looks like it's about 2, this looks like it's 10. So that looks like it's 8. Then let's just visualize this sort of size gap rather than counting up the squares every time. It looks fairly constant across all 8 of these. And so without working it out precisely, we can say that it's probably not Andrew from what we can see. Then moving on to James, we know all of these changes need to be +2. So let's just quickly look to see if we can spot any discontinuities. So that looks like it's a change of 2, as does that. But what's going on here? This looks a bit small for a change of +2. We can see that compared to the other 5, this is slightly different. These are too close together, and this looks more like a change of +1. And if you look at the scale, we can see that this is 8, and this is 9, and indeed, this doesn't match the information that we've gathered for James. And so we know that this one must be wrong, and this corresponds to an answer of C.